Monday, Walker Buehler and the Red Sox reportedly agreeing to a one-year contract worth just over $21 million. Buehler returning last season after his second Tommy John surgery with the Dodgers and seemingly hit his stride during the postseason. Of course, closing out that World Series as the Dodgers beat the New York Yankees. And this is what Walker Buehler has done in the last 3 seasons. 2 questions.
Yeah.
What kind of pitcher is Walker Buehler now, especially after what you saw in the postseason? And are you surprised there wasn't a multi-year deal out there for him, or at least that he opted not to go with the multi-year deal?
Well, I'll answer the second one first. It's interesting. The contract he got is kind of a qualifying offer contract, right? And I think for him, he is one of those brazen, tough athletes that we have in the sport that probably has decided, I'm going to take a one-year offer, and I'm going to go out there and prove myself. I'm going to bet on myself, and I wouldn't bet against him because he's that kind of athlete. What pitcher are we going to see this year? I think when you have the kind of injuries that all of these pitchers have, and they go for 16, 17 months away, and they get bigger and stronger and come back, they're different pitchers sometimes. Sometimes they're the velocity on their fastball is not as hard. Sometimes their breaking ball has a different spin. They have to learn that as much as the teams have to learn that. So I think it's a ever-evolving track that's only going upward. And I think at some point, the Red Sox are really going to have a great pitcher for the summer.
When you look at this rotation, this is definitely a much different rotation than the one that ended 2024. Garrett Crochet comes over from the trade. Tanner Houck, Brian Bayo is a talented young pitcher. Patrick Sandoval not expected to be ready by the start of 2025 as he's recovering from an elbow injury as well. But where are you when you look at their options for the rotation? Where do you see the Red Sox?
No, I think you're right. Giolito, I think, might not be ready.
Lucas Giolito, the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. So, yeah, when I look at their rotation, think about it, a lot of their young pitchers really were great last season. Took a real big step forward. Tanner Houck, probably the biggest of all the...
40-40, walk-off grand slam! 300 for Aaron Judge!
He's one of the hottest hitters in baseball.
Boy, does he look good in Dodger blue! Oh, what a bomb for the captain! The marvelous one, Shohei Ohtani!
See ya! He's done it again!
Jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, night after night.
Well, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge had fantastic, historic, and MVP seasons in 2024 as you take a look at some of the images. And as we wind down the year and look ahead to 2025, we're going to give you some of the images of 2024 that stuck out to us. Why don't you go first, Ryan?
Well, I think when I first started working here, we used to talk about the postseason like, you know what, you got to play some small ball, you got to get guys in, got to get them over. That is gone. Home runs win postseason games. So we saw some of the greatest postseason home runs I've seen sitting in the booth. Just guys responding late in games. Lindor with this grand slam against Estevez and the Phillies that sends the Phillies packing. This one by John Kenzie Noel, big Christmas with 2 outs in the ninth. Pinch hitting off Luke Weaver gets that one. And then the Freddie Freeman grand slam, of course, in the World Series off Nestor Cortez. Who had pitched himself onto the roster by being healthy enough. You thought he'd get a soft landing. He did not. No. They brought him in to face Freeman with the bases loaded.
Yeah, for me, it's that same series and ultimately what would be the final game of the 2024 postseason. And that was the New York Yankees trying to stave off elimination against the Dodgers. And then things just went horribly wrong in that 5th inning. Aaron Judge dropped the ball. Garrett Cole, Anthony Rizzo couldn't make the connection at first. Freddie Freeman and then Teoscar Hernandez giving them the lead ultimately. And remember, Garrett Cole had thrown 4 no-hit innings. He had a no-hitter going into this inning. So I know it's an inning that Yankee fans will continue to ruminate over in the offseason.
Nice you to bring it up again.
But don't be surprised. This team is probably going to be among the favorites to get back there in the World Series.
Remember when we were watching that game, you thought Cole was going to, I mean, this is A stuff. There's no way they're going to get a hit off him. And I was on, I have a lot of Yankee friends, and they don't know it's me, but I was on their group text while that 5th inning was going on. That was 45 minutes that no one should have to read again.
It was just shocking to see because it seemingly turned just like that.
That's right.
And that's something you rarely see. All right, we're going to step aside. But when we come back, as baseball continues to mourn the passing.
Hot stove, we do have some breaking news. We're going to talk to Russ about this in a moment. But this just breaking, Walker Buehler and the Red Sox, 1 year, $21.05 million, which includes incentives. The two-time World Series champ with the Dodgers now becomes the veteran arm in Boston's new look rotation. This is pretty interesting. I am, in fact, more than interesting. I'm really surprised. The AAV is nice at $21 million.
Well, that's the qualifying offer, basically.
1 year.
Yeah. So it's a reset for him.
Did he need a reset? His reset was the World Series. He was unbelievable.
That's what I thought. But obviously the teams are not giving him multi-year deals, or else he does not do this.
Gosh, that's shocking, man.
I'd heard all along that I thought he was going to go back to the Reds because his college pitching coach was with the Reds and all that stuff. But look, man, you know.
The Dodgers didn't want him back at, I don't know, 3 years, something south of that AAV, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's.
I mean, look, if you're the Dodgers and you're in on Sasaki and you feel like you're getting him, you got Yamamoto, Shohei's coming back to pitch. You're going to get Sasaki. Clinton's going to come back and pitch this year. Glasnow's coming back to pitch.
Right.
Yeah, there just wasn't a spot.
Apparently.
And so they've kind of moved on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, apparently Walker said he would have taken the qualifying offer had he received one, did not get one.
And that's what this is.
This number.
This is the qualifying offer.
I just felt like there was a multi-year landscape out there for him.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for us, yeah, we give him a multi-year deal, but clearly teams are looking at things that we don't see. Maybe I don't even want to speculate.
Yeah, right. Jock Peterson signs a 1 year deal with the Rangers, and the big story here that we learned of overnight, and I think he was tweeting it out himself like really late last night, is Sean Manaea, 3 for $75 million. This according to Mark Feinsand at MLB.com.
We're seeing 1 to 3 year deals.
Well, but this is what I kind of felt like was out there for Buehler, but apparently not. Manaea gets paid 3 for $75. Again, the numbers last year were great, even better down the stretch. We talked a lot on this network about a slight adjustment to his arm angle, his delivery, and he really took off from there. He was great for the Mets, and this is a big return in New York.
I love this because too often, a player gets turned around. A coaching staff helps him figure something out, and then he leaves. This guy figured it out with changing the delivery. It worked for him. It worked for the Mets. I'm sure he didn't come up with this on his own. It was how they did this. They figured it out together, and they brought him back. And so they rewarded him, and he rewarded them. Thank you. I love this.
You could go back even farther than his last 12 because the turnaround for him really started in early July, and then it really rounded into form in the last month and a half of the season. All the cumulative numbers for Manaea, by the way, career high in innings. He did have one clunker in the postseason last year, Game 6 of the division series or championship series against the Dodgers. And it came under completely different circumstances. Everybody was expecting him to repeat what he did in his first start against the Dodgers in the NLCS when he pitched in the daytime at home.
Yeah.
Whole different animal.
Totally different.
With a weird glare. It was a weird start time.
Yeah.
But he was good down the stretch. There's no two ways about it. Look, he's already had the Tommy John surgery. He's been through that. That was the year he threw the no-hitter in 2018 when he was still in Oakland. But remember, this was a guy that bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
On his footing.
Right? Yeah. He's going to be the anchor of that rotation.
The Mets
now.
needed this. This is a big deal for the Mets. You know, you cannot look past that. How are they going to get this kind of quality of a guy they know and they spent time developing? You know, I think they looked back and saw the Severino deal get away from them. I think that shocked them.
Yeah.
That Severino actually left, and the A's came up and put the money on the table. And they were still in the middle of the Soto deal and all these other things they're working on. That got flushed off, and now they could not let Manaea get away. Where are you going to get somebody better out on the market?
Right. You know who did get somebody better, who is even better now than they were beforehand, and their staff was pretty doggone good before, is the Philadelphia Phillies. We had heard that Jesus Luzardo was being called about. We kind of suspected there'd be a deal. I didn't think it would be in the division, and I didn't have the Phillies on my list because that rotation's pretty good, and there maybe were bullpen pieces that they'd change. Maybe some more depth in the outfield. Instead, they go get a premier arm. They do give up one of their top 5 prospects, Starlin Caba, and Marion Boyd is a number 23 prospect internally. So I would say the compensation package was really reasonable. In fact, I don't know where else there was a deal for Luzardo, but the Marlins felt like this was the best one, and a really good rotation got even better with this.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like you said, it's a little bit shocking, but the Phillies got an upgrade. What you do with your minor leaguers, you know, he's a number 4, he's a number 13, he's a number 15, he's a number, who knows?
Yeah.
It's your own ranking, and somebody else has to look and see what that fit might be for them. Clearly, the Marlins on the other side are getting younger. You know, Peter Bendick is going to go this way. This is what he's going to do. This is just the beginning of unloading veterans. We watched Berger go. He's now going to be starting in Texas. You're seeing a lot of moves already starting to happen.
That's right.
They're going to be a very young Marlins team, and that's the theme of what they're going to do.
Boy, I feel like there's like a race to the bat rack to get all this stuff done before Christmas, right?
I want to see what happens
Christmas Eve. Phillies get Max Kepler, 1-year deal. Yeah. They acquire a pitcher now, a high upside pitcher who has had some injury trouble, including missing most of the season last year with that stress reaction in his back.
さて、MLB の熱い話題が続きますが、今年の移籍市場はこれまでにないほど活発でエキサイティングな展開を見せています。ニューヨークメッツがショーン・マネアを迎え入れることで、チームの投手陣がさらに強化されただけでなく、その未来への期待も大きく膨らみました。ショーン・マネア選手がシーズン中盤に行ったフォーム改良によって投球の安定性が向上し、彼がエースとしての役割を果たせる可能性が一気に高まったことは、メッツにとって大きな朗報です。彼が契約を通じて見せた忠誠心と努力は、ファンのみならず、野球界全体にインスピレーションを与える素晴らしいエピソードとして語り継がれることでしょう。また、ボストンレッドソックスがウォーカー・ビューラーを獲得したことも、非常に注目すべきポイントです。2度のトミー・ジョン手術を経て復活した彼が1年契約で挑む次シーズンは自身の実力を証明する新たなステージとなります。自分にかけるという選択をした彼の姿勢にはトップアスリートならではの自信と覚悟が感じられます。ファンにとってはもちろんのこと、彼が再びエースとして輝きを放つ瞬間を見届けることができるのは大きな期待と喜びをもたらすはずです。さらにフィラデルフィア・フィリーズがヘス・ルサルドを獲得し、すでに強力なローテーションをさらに強化したことは他のチームにとって大きな脅威となるでしょう。ルサルド選手が新天地でどのような成績を残すのか、そしてフィリーズが彼を中心にどのような戦略を展開するのか、今後の注目ポイントです。このような補強の動きが MLB 全体の競争をさらに盛り上げ、各チームが持つ可能性を広げていくことは間違いありません。MLB の魅力は、選手たちが見せるプレーだけではなく、移籍市場での戦略的な動きや、選手一人一人のストーリーに盛ります。ショーン・マネアが故郷で家族と共に迎えた特別な瞬間や、ウォーカー・ビューラーが新たな挑戦に向けて決意を示した姿など、これらのエピソードは、私たちファンにとって感動を与えてくれるものです。そして、そのような感動を共有し、選手たちの活躍を応援できることは、私たちの一番の喜びでもあります。これから迎える2025年シーズンでは、どのチームが優勝争いを繰り広げるのか、 どの選手がスター選手として新たに台頭するのか、期待が膨らむばかりです。それぞれのチームが挑む戦いは、決して簡単なものではありませんが、それこそが MLB の魅力、勝利の喜び、敗北の悔しさ、そしてそこから立ち上がる選手たちの姿には、心を打たれる瞬間が詰まっています。そんな瞬間を皆さんと一緒に楽しみ、共有できることをとても楽しみにしています。もし MLB の最新情報や感動的なエピソードをもっと見たいと思ったら、ぜひのチャンネルをフォローしてください。私たちは皆さんが求めている情報をどんどんお届けしていきます。また、皆さんのコメントや感想もお待ちしています。注目している選手は誰ですか？あなたが応援しているチームの次の補強は、ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。皆さんの声がこのコミュニティをさらに楽しいものにしてくれることは間違いありません。さらに、動画を気に入っていただけたらいいね。押して、この熱い話題を友人や家族とシェアしてください。MLB を愛するすべての仲間たちと共に、2025年シーズンのスタートを盛り上げていきましょう。そして、新たなヒーローが生まれる瞬間を一緒に見届けていきましょう。それでは、また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。これからも MLB の素晴らしい瞬間を共に楽しみ、盛り上げていきましょう。